late, GM, everybody. Usually we're a bit earlier on our streams, but obviously, as you can see today, the lovely Elisa joins us live all the way from around halfway the world. I mean, Craig, we've had a very busy week. We've had so many people on. It's been a banging week. So it's another great opportunity again to dive into someone else who's making inroads around the world in cryptocurrency. So Elisa, GM to you, how are you going today?
GM, I'm doing great despite the market. Yeah, really happy to be on here with you guys. I hope you're doing amazing. And yeah, it's my favorite day of the week. So
I love that.
Starting
so true though. Friday, I think, look, you can't argue. Friday is a great day of the week. Craig, how are you going, mate? How's your Friday been? I know you were live on stream with Bruh earlier today. He's a funny man, that man. Yeah. Drinking beers, mate. So you've already had a bit of a sesh this morning, mate.
Yeah, I'm back on the waters now. Was trying to be responsible for this afternoon's stream. So yeah, I had a stream with Bra. He was going to buy Pudgy on stream, little Pudgy, but people kept sniping the ones he was after. So we'll have to go back in and grab one for him another day. So yeah, did that, and then was chatting to the Pudgy Oceana guys, and then yeah, stream with you guys now. So happy to be here. Elisa, where are you from? Because it's daytime there now.
So I'm in Dubai at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, nice one. That's a great collection you've got there of Pudgies and Pikachu and everything. That's good, man.
Makes mine look like trash.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, it doesn't.
You put the womanly touch on it. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I like the colors.
That's good. My wife would dig that. And a great microphone as well, hey, Greenie?
Yeah, I'm jealous of that. I'm jealous of that microphone. Yeah,
that's
a great setup.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, let's dive straight in. So for people that maybe don't know who you are, Elisa, let's talk. So what's your crypto story? What do you do currently? Talk to us. How long have you been in the game? How long have you been creating content? Because I know that's certainly an area I want to touch on today, which I know a lot of people probably in the crowd would really value, is kind of how to grow a crypto brand, because it is very challenging. It takes a lot of patience from our experiences, but I'd love to hear it from your perspective. But let's start off with how long have you been in crypto? What did you first buy? All those sorts of things.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry for my camera glitching, by the way. So I first joined crypto when I was 21. So in 2021, it was my last year of uni, and I basically couldn't, like, I was worried that I would never find like an industry that I would kind of not get bored of. I was very into social media, like from very young. Funnily enough, it was never video. It was always written. So like Facebook pages, Twitter as well. Mm-hmm. When I was like 13, I had like multiple pages on Facebook. So I've always been really into content, like without realizing it, I guess. And also always been very interested in business, but I'm not really a maths person, so finance like wasn't really interesting. My brother was actually into crypto like pretty early on, and he was talking about it, but like I was just seeing it as like a finance thing, so it didn't interest me. And then I saw NFTs, and that's basically when I entered crypto, because it was just like an easier way in, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, been in the space ever since, like never got bored of it. It's the most entertaining space ever. It forces you to grow, forces you to learn every single day. And that's exactly what I love. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like there's opportunities that you don't even know are happening every single day. Like that's how crazy cryptocurrency is. It's a public holiday up here, and my wife had today off, and so I was kind of going to put out a tweet and say, look, I wish crypto had a public holiday, even just one day in the year, like for me to just go, okay, I don't need to go look at the markets. I don't need to worry about whatever war's happening around the world. I can just go peace out, go lie on a beach, whatever it is. But unfortunately, that's the industry that we're in. So it is what it is. With your NFTs, what was your first NFT that you bought?
Oh yeah, I didn't even answer your question. The first crypto I bought was ADA.
Oh, I did.
Oh my God.
I posted that yesterday.
I honestly don't know how that happens. Like, I don't get it. I think it's YouTube. Like, there's something there where like Charles Hoskins manages to get to normies before anybody else.
Yeah,
literally. Like, I don't know how. But yeah, I think it was ADA and then ETH. And my first NFT was actually Crypto Coven. I don't know if you guys know it.
I think so.
It's like this collection with witches.
I remember it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
It didn't go crazy, but it was like a cool mint style and everything. Yeah, I was actually really into art NFTs, but I never did any like NFT whitelist grinding. For some reason, I don't think I knew that was going on, or I just considered it like not worth my time, and I was like looking for a job. I was treating it like Web2. Let's say that. Like I was looking for a full-time job outside of like leaving uni. You know, I needed something stable. And I don't think I ever considered, oh yeah, let me check out this like whitelist grinding thing. I don't think I took that seriously, which I probably should have, because people were making like 10 ETH per mint. It was nuts apparently.
Which at the time would have been like 30-40 grand when ETH was like $3,000-$4,000, right? Yeah.
I didn't really know that was happening, or I just assumed I didn't have access to it. Like I remember seeing the Azuki mint and just being like, I couldn't have gotten that. Yeah.
I feel like I had the same boat. Craig, you did though. You were in those sort of NFT trenches and stuff, right?
The whitelist grinding, I wasn't. Well, the reason why I say I wasn't is I didn't realize guys were actually hiring people to go and whitelist grind for them. So I was doing it like the old-fashioned way, like because I'm older, right? So it's like I kind of feel sometimes being my age, younger people they've worked shit out before me. So I was grinding it a little bit, but I was obviously busy with trading and things like that. So I didn't put like a large amount of my day into it because I was trading. But like Elisa said, in hindsight, I should have, because every mint was, like Elisa said, you're probably making between 5 and 30 grand a mint.
The big one was Moonbirds, right? Like if you grinded and got that whitelist, it was 2.5 ETH to mint, obviously, and plus the fees. Yeah. But then they came out at 10 ETH straight away. Like it was a 4x instantly.
It was just a money printer. So I did a little bit, but I must admit there were guys killing it a lot more than me because they just hired these dudes to go and do it. So I didn't do very well over that period in regards to that. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to really eat very much. But no, I cut my teeth more in trading during that time, which is actually, in hindsight, was the better thing to do because now I can still trade. Whereas grinding whitelists, well, I don't know how that would really help me right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Better to develop the skills for sure. I agree with that.
That's right. And that's what I thought of at the time. I was like, no, I've got to learn this shit properly, man.
Eli's in my chat just talking absolute shit. Like, brother, I literally spent 3 weeks not sleeping every night doing online riddles and ciphers to mint Neo. That was the big one.
Neo
that was the big one. True.
And
he minted Moonbirds and flipped it for 8 ETH and woke up the next day and it was like 40. Lol.
40.
Yeah, they went to like 40 like very quickly. Very quickly.
What the fuck?
Yeah, crazy times. Before we dive in more around content, around sort of abstract and whatnot, what's your take on the market right now? Like I put in the title because a little bit of clickbait, but more to the point, like to you both, is the crypto bull cycle over? Is the top in? Is 111K? Are we not going back there anytime soon? I'd love to get both of your thoughts on that at the moment.
Alyssa, you go first.
Okay, sure. I don't think top is in. I'm not like the best. I don't watch indicators that much. Like I probably should, but I'm not like a super technical TA person. However, someone I trust does look at indicators, and it doesn't look like the top is in at all. I think it's just going to be like a choppy summer, but yeah, I guess like things like, geopolitical unrest is a bit of a black swan. So don't think any of us really know what to do in that circumstance. But I did read something clever, which I don't know if you saw, but oil is like going up a lot.
Yeah.
And apparently that's like, wait, let me just pull up the tweet.
Up 7% or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically he's saying Income Sharks. Don't know if you guys know him.
Sounds familiar.
He's pretty goated. I like him. He basically said, if this leads to larger conflict, then oil prices go higher. Higher oil prices means higher inflation, which means you should be looking for a head on inflation, and back to stocks and crypto you go. So obviously that's someone's subjective opinion, but yeah.
I mean,
I'm still bullish.
Yeah.
I'm still bullish.
Yeah. Cool. No, well, that answers the question. Craig, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think in 5 years' time or 3 years' time, if you were to look back at this period in time, you may not even see a blip. And I don't even, if I said to you, put a pin on a board on the chart where the wall was, I don't reckon you could pick it. So once you sort of think of things like that, then it kind of calms me down. And I think, look, you've got to get off the hourly chart, the 15-minute chart.
That's the key.
Even possibly off the daily and go to the weekly and monthly, and all that stuff says higher. I think we go higher. I think we were always going to pull back from where we double tapped 110, 111. And I think the news is just giving us a reason for the pullback. Yes, I think it could exaggerate the pullback. Fear usually does. And that's why you buy, because it'll go lower than it probably should. It'll be oversold. So yeah. I'm very bullish. In fact, I'm absolutely licking my lips, man. I hope this war, not the war, but I hope the fear of it scares the shit out of people, man. Not for the people in the war, but for those of us trading the markets. You've got to separate the two, right? There's sadness over there with the war, and then there's opportunity. I can't fix the war, but I can certainly take advantage of an opportunity that's presented to me. So I'll definitely be doing that.
100%. I pulled out the 6-month chart, guys. That's what I was doing. I zoomed right out and I was looking at the 6-month chart. And so we can go all the way to 46K and I'm still a bull. All right. So there's some serious alpha for you there. So yeah, as Craig said, zooming out is key. I had a big long chat with some guy about TA and how TA doesn't work in the Giga chat conversation. It was like an hour long, like we're just going back and forth. He's like, nah, TA doesn't work, bro. He's like, I trade on fundamentals. I'm like, bro, I use both. Like, I'm trying to educate you here. He's like, nah. And he's like, you can't do it on low caps. I'm like, bro, I literally just made an 11x on Gooner a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to Eli, who's shilling that in my absolute DMs. Crazy, man. Thanks for the Pengu. You're a legend. And so I want to ask, did you both buy anything today? Did you guys go and click buy on anything specific?
Not yet. I'm not gonna lie. I literally opened my eyes and came here.
Yeah. That's much like us every morning, Greenie, on the show. We wake up and literally go live and like, what the fuck's happening in this market?
I love that.
Yeah, I did. I bought some Pengu. The reason being is because I think it'll have a great Q4 or bull run, rest of the bull run. I also wanted to go up in the tiers for earning abstract XP. So I saw this little dip as an opportunity to try and get into tier 2. So I bought some today and I'll continue to buy on the way down. And hopefully by the time I hit tier 2, I'll sort of hold back then. So the goal is just to hit that. So I'll keep DCAing in. Bitcoin itself, not yet. But if we get 101 or lower, I start to deploy funds again.
I forgot I had the 6-month chart open and I just pulled it up on Pengu. It looks so funny. I want to show actually before we do dive in more specifically. This is the 6-month chart. How good's that? Big green and then big dump holder. But if we have a look here, like you are at a very key level, like the 618. So Eli, if you are watching, mate, this is not a bad area to maybe take a long. Potential double bottom off here back towards the range highs. We'll see. I'm not sure where to put my stop loss. I could put it there as a more aggressive trade, but I am looking at potentially opening some longs here. Took a little ETH long earlier because it was in a nice range. But yeah, good take. I agree. I think I was saying as well publicly, like I've literally set up limit orders at the fib marks for BTC. So 103K, obviously we hit that today. I think it was like the next one was like 97, 93, 88, 74. I put it all the way down there. And if they hit, they hit. If they don't, so be it. All right, let's talk more specifics. So we obviously understand a little bit about your story. I want to talk about the content side of it first. So how long have you been creating? Was it content on Twitter before crypto and then it translated across, or has it always been crypto content?
Yeah, so I've been creating content basically since I was like 13. I've always been into writing. I kind of wanted to start a YouTube, but my mum was like, I feel uncomfortable with your face being on the internet. And at that time, YouTube was kind of early. So I get her. She must have just been like, what is that? So yeah, I basically started off like running 2 Facebook pages, got like a decent amount of followers on there. Like followers are basically like people who like the page. Don't know if you guys remember that. Yeah. And then Twitter was the only platform where I didn't have to, I think there wasn't age verification, or like age verification was very chill. And my mom was basically telling me you can only have social media that like lets you on basically at your age. So yeah, I made an X. I still remember how it looked. Like, it was so basic, the UI. I was following like iJustine and the 10 other people on the platform. Like, there was practically no one there. And yeah, basically just I would say X was like the social media that I was like spending the most time on, like through like since that time. So like over like a decade, which is kind of crazy to think. And yeah, at some point when I was like 17, I started this Twitter page, the one I actually have now, which is crazy. I started it, and it was basically in the female sphere. So everything to do with like astrology, like kind of like mood pictures. So any kind of view. And yeah, I basically started like these kind of threads, these astrology threads, and they were just going crazy. Like, get like 10K retweets, like 50K likes, like just the most insane shit you've ever seen. And it basically kind of started like a trend of astrology written content on X. So I rode that wave like grew really fast. And I would say like 1 year later, I found crypto. And I wasn't really like, I didn't want to do the astrology thing forever. Like, I'm pretty into that, but like at that time I was more into it, I would say. Like, now I just don't really like, it doesn't add that much value to my life. Like, it's interesting, but you know, want to do other things. So I basically transitioned my account into like a crypto account, which, looking back, I should have just made a new one, because complete different audience. And a lot of people from back then still follow me, but like, it's, yeah, whatever. And yeah, basically transitioned to crypto, but I would say like I was still in learning mode. So I didn't create content full time until end of 2023, which is a good like 2-3 years later. And I was basically doing like full-time marketing jobs up until then. I ran a newsletter, so it's still out there in the cloud. Ran a newsletter to do with everything to do with like crypto gaming. So I was basically researching the entire space and like compiling it. Got like a few subscribers from like A16Z, Bitcraft, like some like investment firms. So that was cool. But again, wasn't really fulfilling. I was doing it behind like a brand account, not my personal brand. As soon as I switched and I started to like use my personal brand, I actually started growing, which was crazy. And as soon as I quit my job in late 2023, like everything started happening. Like in the next 2 months, I think I 10x my income. Like, it was insane. So yeah, it was very much butterfly effect. And I was one of the first people to do video content. I don't do video content that much anymore because I honestly believe in a bull market, people just need high frequency posts. Like, they need a lot of posts. They need to be reading a lot of stuff. And people don't actually watch video that much. But that's why I love streams, because on streams you can have those kind of interactions, I feel. So yeah, time flies.
Yeah, it does. Hey, I was just looking at your account, 2010 on Twitter. I thought I was early.
Early,
2012.
Okay,
I was
10. I was literally 10.
That's wild. That's wild. Craig, handing over to you, mate.
Yeah, so you're on Twitter. You're pretty young. You're doing astrology stuff, and you obviously have a bit of a knack for social media, I'm guessing, because well, whatever happened, you were getting success. And you were like, holy shit, I might as well keep doing this. What was the moment like? Because I remember when I quit my job full-time in Greenwood as well. What was the moment for you? Was there a moment for you where you left your full-time job where that was the nail in the coffin that made you leave? Or was it just a slow progression to leaving? Was there a major catalyst, or was it just a slow burn where you went, I'm done?
Yeah, so it was actually burnout. Yeah, I'm just a very hard worker, and I feel like in corporate environments, people just take advantage of that. It's like you always need to be holding back or like not giving 110%. So yeah, in that job, I was burnout, and like it was toxic environment, and I just realized like, wow, like I need to leave basically, because they were also asking me to like invest less time into my content. Like, it was really just like, yeah. It was a lesson for me, I think. However many times I tried to like be full-time at a company, it would never work out, and it would really frustrate me. I was like, I'm really trying, like I don't get why it's not working out. And I think it was just like the universe telling me, this is not the way.
Just
There's
segue.
another way
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. That was the same for me. I was in the corporate world and I was frustrated. And then you get frustrated with giving 100%, and they want 105%, so you give that. And then if they, then the carrot scene, if you give 105,
always need more. Yeah.
You'll get this, right? And then it's like, oh, you just missed it. But if you give 110, you might hit it. And look at Johnny over there. He's giving 120. So why can't you? And it's like, well, Johnny's 20 years old and no kids, and I've got a kid. So, so yeah, I was the same as you. Then I was like, you know what? I reckon I can make more money doing less work. It ended up not being exactly less work, but it was more fun work. And I found once, I don't know what you were like, but once I started working on my own brand, it's a lot more interesting than building someone else's brand.
Yeah,
way more fun. And probably the biggest danger is burnout for a different reason, and that's probably because you're so. If you're right for the job, you're probably going to want to do it 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
you're locked in. Like I don't know about you guys. Like I schedule tweets like all the time. Like every day I'll schedule tweets till this is a bit of cheat code because I want to talk about strategies too. But I schedule tweets till about 2 a.m. Australian time, which is like usually America, like maybe 11 a.m. I think it is. And I found that I get really good success, but I need to sleep. So I'll just schedule tweets at those times, and I'll wake up and I'll run back, be like, oh yeah, that one did well. Okay, that topic did well. That one didn't do well. Okay, always good to know. So on that topic, what are some growth strategies that maybe we can all talk about, maybe potentially work for growing a crypto brand? Because it is very challenging. It is honestly a grind, and takes a lot of time. Like, I mean, we have Pio on the show. Same again, they did a lot of media for a long, long time. Now they're partnering with some of the biggest sort of chains out there, AVAX, Sui, and whatnot. You've got Eli, who's finally found a bit of a niche with Abstract, and he's starting to blow up a really good account there. But we were kind of talking about yesterday about making sure that he does diversify in case Abstract, not again, I'm very bullish on Abstract, but in case that does eventually, or in 2 years' time, it does slow down, or what happens to Eli then? So what are some strategies that you think have worked for you and possibly will continue to work moving forward?
Yeah, to be honest, like the basics, I would just say consistency, and being like putting yourself out there. I would say that my journey, honestly, the beginning part of it was 100% like dedicated to learning and also meeting people, and it was never ever transactional for me. Like, I think that's really important to say. I was just meeting people out of genuine interest, out of genuinely wanting to learn about crypto gaming at the time, which was like my main focus. And I met a ton of people like that, and I think when you set out with those intentions, like monetizing, not even in my brain, when you set out with those kind of intentions, people recognize it, and basically when the time comes, they'll like give you certain opportunities, or like they'll think of you, right? And I would say that compounds a lot. Like, but you need all those small things for a very long time. I don't know if it's still the same today, to be honest with you. I kind of feel like we're in a different environment. But yeah, when we were like, in the bear market, that's how it was for me. It was quite quiet. So all I had to do was just be very consistent, keep connecting with everybody. And when it comes to actually making content, I would say adapting is probably my number one piece of advice. Like, I've been in gaming for a while. I would always say that's like it's what I take advisory jobs on, for example. It's like go to market on gaming and marketing and for gaming. But at the same time, it's been like over a year that I've been like trading all these narratives, right? I was in Blast. I was like specifically like Pac Moon, which is kind of early info fi. Not info fi.
You can say that.
Blast, virtuals was super early. Like, just all of these things that interest you, like you just got to be early, and you got to post a lot about it. I really disagree with the people being like, don't dilute your brand, Like, I do not agree with that at all. I think when there's a hot narrative and you're early to it, you should go hard. And people won't remember you as the Blast person. Like, like ICO, for example, that was like his big break, right? It was during Blast.
Yeah.
Like no one sees him as the Blast guy. No, because since then he's adapted and he's switched over to whatever interests him, right? So I think you should never be scared to go hard is kind of my piece of advice. Go hard, be consistent, and post a lot. Like Greeny, you post a shit ton. So do you, Craig. Like I think that's really important, and people are scared to do that.
Yeah.
Which I understand, because in the beginning I had this kind of issue with perfection, and I needed every tweet to look good and stuff. But now it's like whenever I see something that's interesting and I think the timeline would care, I post it, you know. And if I get 20 likes, doesn't matter. If I get 300 likes, great. But the most important thing is just being out there.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think like being like it's okay to fail with content. Like it's not like I can put like, let's go down the video route. Like I can create a 10-minute, 20-minute tutorial on whatever topic it is, put hours into it, and not be paid a cent by potentially marketing teams on the company that I'm working with. And then I get no videos, no views. It can be like 100 or 200 views. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. Like, so be it. That's just the journey, right? Then I'll go create another one. It'll take me maybe only 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then that one actually goes giga viral. And then my channel grows, all those sorts of things. So Zeneca always put this really well too. As someone who is probably the real, like, grew a brand just based on one, entertainment, but two, value. And I think value is consistent, right? Be consistent with the value you provide. Be a reply guy as well. And I think that's important. And I wrote a little thread actually about reply guy last night, because at the end of the day, it just puts your face, your profile, your knowledge on other people's sort of impressions, let's call it, on their profiles. And that sort of giga sends you into that network. They learn to engage with you. Other people go, oh, well, if Greeny's commenting on this, then okay, well, maybe he does know what he's talking about. I'll go click follow, all those sorts of things. And then what you need to do, like being a reply guy is great, but you need to wrap them back to your profile. And okay, well, is your bio clean? Are you providing value? All those sorts of things. So yeah, I think that's a great sort of, I think like, it's funny you mentioned the streaming part earlier. I think being a streamer but also creating content is probably the best opportunity in crypto right now. What do you two think about that?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think for me, I mean, just on a personal level, the streaming's opened up a lot of doors. And I think possibly that's because of the hesitation of some people in the space to dox themselves. So I was never really scared to dox myself. I actually didn't really come from a non-dox background when I came to crypto Twitter. I didn't realize that's what everyone was doing. So I kind of already posted a photo of my face pretty early on. Didn't really give a fuck. And also the freeing thing for me was I just quit my job when I came to Web3. So I didn't have a boss or a company I had to answer to anymore. So I decided pretty early on when I did that, fuck it, I'm going to be myself 100% authentically on the timeline. And if someone doesn't like it, well, that just happens. You know, not everyone's going to like me. That's just the way it is. And I don't like everybody. And that's being normal. So once I kind of decided that, it was pretty freeing. But then to go back to your question, then with the streaming, it became very powerful because I could come on, because on the timeline, I always spoke in a certain way and I swore and I kind of said what I thought, and I perhaps would touch topics that other people might have been scared to in the corporate world. I think people responded well to that. And then when I was willing to dox or go on camera, and I happened to act the same on camera as I do on the timeline, like I'm not on the timeline trying to be a warrior and then go on camera and I'm got a tie on and shit, right? So I just am me. And I found that quite good, because if people try to find chinks in my armor, yeah, there might be some, but there's no real big skeletons in the closet either. So you might catch me on I don't know what you catch me out on, but a bad trade, but then I probably got fucked on it too.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's no real dirty, dark secrets. So for me, streaming's managed to put me maybe ahead of others, if ahead's even the right word. I don't know if it is. And then obviously, but I think what Elisa's saying as well, definitely the written content is probably where I got most of my followers. And then the videos just kind of propelled it giga actually to the ordinal phase is where it really kicked off for me. Sorry, Elisa, I'll let you go there. I talk a lot.
No, don't apologize. I'm interested. Yeah, I would agree with you. I really like this analogy that someone outside of crypto used, where basically like every piece of content is a different interaction with your audience. Like for example, a tweet is like a text to your audience, and the live streams like are cool. So it's just a way to go deeper with people. And I think like if you think about it from like a psychology perspective, that's how people build an attachment to you, and then you become their favorite creator, and then there's loyalty, and then there's all these things that start to happen. And I would always say like this is one thing we've learned from crypto is community is everything. And I think that's one thing that us creators in crypto have that maybe other creators don't have, which is like this really strong sense of community with our audience. It's not just an audience. I think like Web2 creators are starting to think that way, especially on TikTok. But yeah, so I would say streaming definitely helped. Like I said, I was one of the earliest people to do streaming and video. 2023. Like I think my first pieces of content when I was like full-time was video. But now it's like I feel like I've already kind of done that route. So now the most logical thing for me is streaming and clips from the streaming, basically. I'm not the type of content creator that's going to go for YouTube. I respect that immensely. I think YouTube is a really, really good like horizon to explore. But I think you need to know what type of content creator you are. Oopsie.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. TikTok? Are you on TikTok? Are you creating TikTok content in crypto, all those sorts of things? Or is that something that you don't do?
Sorry, I was like playing the sound from X, so I didn't hear your question.
That's so good.
I was like trying to find it. I was like, where is that sound
going from?
I
do that. Hey, like you tune into a stream, it's just like, oh my god, turn that off. I wanted to ask TikTok because I ran into some people at the Pudgy. Shout out to the Pudgy Penguin Abstract collab, exclusive shirt. So there you go. Yeah, nice. I love it.
Nice one.
I love it. I ran into I'll dox him. Well, not dox him, but like their name. So NFT guy, right?
What's his address, Greenie?
Hey?
I just get an address.
Yeah. This is their phone number, their name. This is their... But anyways, NFT guy, right? Like he was one of the biggest calls of last cycle. And I was like, oh yeah, like everyone knows who he kind of was, right? Like it was NFT guy, NFT guy and NFT God. And obviously NFT God then translated into
change his name.
Correct. Yeah. Which you spoke about earlier, transitioning from a different audience to it. And he struggled for a long time and finally starting to catch on. Yeah. But I ran into NFT guy and he was so young compared to what I was. He's like, yeah, I've always created content. I just really find a niche for it. I understand how to use the marketing. I understand how to do this. And I was like, oh, wow, fascinating conversation. But he said the best funnel is actually TikTok. He's like use these sort of skills, use these different sort of tools that you can elaborate with, create the same content across a range of different profiles, and just whichever one sort of slaps over time is the one that you take over as your brand on TikTok. And so I was always like, I've created videos on TikTok for a long, long time and really not really gained too much traction. I think I've got like 200 followers on there, maybe 10,000 likes. I don't know. It's really small, like when you consider it to the brand on X and onto YouTube. But he's like, yeah, look at TikTok. It's a great funnel. So I wanted to ask you specifically, have you explored that? Have you used TikTok for crypto content, or is it something different for you?
Yeah, so I had a gaming TikTok. I was doing that. So basically, I was streaming like on Twitch. I started streaming 2023, like earlier on in the year before I went full time and all that. And I did. I basically clipped my streams and put them on TikTok. Did decent, but I just didn't feel like I was doing the right thing. Didn't feel aligned. Yeah. And then recently, I started a new TikTok. But I was actually my goal with that was not crypto. It was like building a personal brand completely outside of it. I think like just female sphere again. Yeah. And I was really consistent with it, like started to get somewhere, started to gain some momentum. And then the market just started like heating up a lot. So it's tough. It's like TikTok is I feel like you need to be on the app a lot. Yeah. Like you need to be really in the culture to be able to know what people want to see and to be able to go viral. Honestly, this sounds like excuses. Maybe it is. Like I should probably work harder. I don't know. But it just feels like right now crypto, like the opportunity is just so much bigger. And I would hate myself if I missed it just because I'm trying to like go viral on somewhere. Yeah. I think you could monetize. Like at the end of the day, I do feel you need to think about like ROI as well, especially if the ROI is high somewhere. Like if you're at that point in your creator career, I would say. You need to think about, okay, if I'm going to invest, because I was investing my entire day into TikTok. I wasn't really doing crypto anymore for like a couple weeks. It's like, okay, what's the end goal with that?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 million followers. That would be fucking awesome. I can monetize that up, but it's not going to take like, 2 weeks because I need to get to learn the algo. Like I'm not that familiar with it. I've seen a few people like do quite well with crypto content, but it's confusing to me because there's on the flip side, there's a bunch of people that get flagged, like that get shadow banned. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is there, and I would wait until it's like a bit clearer, I would say. But also, sorry, one last thing about this, like I'm not convinced like TikTok is I guess it depends like your goal, because people want like really short value. So what are you going to tell them? Like, I made 100K and this is how, like, that's the kind of content you're going for. And I just don't know if that's what I want to do,
Totally understand that as well.
It's tough.
That'd be the sort of slop I don't really want to create as a creator. That would make me feel dirty. And I'm not even saying it is dirty doing it. It's not even saying that. It's just not my style. I would just feel like I might as well be working a job with someone doing something I don't want to do. Which is, as creators, kind of the fun part, or the part I enjoy is doing the stuff I want to do. Sometimes you've got to do stuff that, the algo will like, but you still get to do it in your flavor, I guess. Whereas I made it, I just did 100x. How did I do it? Boom, boom, and just cracked out videos for 20 seconds. I don't know. I'm the same as you. I don't know if I could do it. That sounds like a lot of fucking work that I wouldn't enjoy.
So what platform do you think is, or let's go 1 to 3, what platforms do you think are the best for Twitter? Sorry, for Twitter. Goodness.
You just said it.
Dude, you just said the number one, Greeny.
Twitter's my middle name, Sat.
I know. It's not even Twitter, but we still say it, right?
Hold on. My wife, I'll check how much time a day, and this is only on my phone too, so I'll check it. But
I'm so bad.
What platform do you think is the best for crypto, more broadly speaking?
X. Okay, so I actually
why?
This is why I wanted to ask you guys, like, it's like everybody tries to fight against it, and I don't understand why. Like, I've been an X creator, maybe not as much as now, but I've been an X creator for a few years, and like, it's in my opinion, it's the best platform. It's my favorite platform. I was on here even outside of crypto, and for some reason, just because we're in crypto, people criticize it a lot, or like, there's always these like creator critics, and it's like that's like a whole brand of creator that's arisen is like criticizing the way I hate it, but it's like I don't know why we fight against it. Like when people come into crypto, even think of like Aiden Ross. He created an X profile, like it's just our turf, and I don't think that's going to change. Like I think it's just going to keep growing. I'm going to be very honest. And then basically, once you've grown a platform on X and you've grown a big audience there, you can go wherever you want and people will follow you.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's the way I see it. I don't think it's like, okay, let's start making like TikTok videos and we're going to go viral. And like it, I think that's kind of backwards. I think you can definitely grow a brand outside of X 100%. But we do need to understand like crypto lives on X. And right now the rest of the world, they just don't. It's like a funnel. Like you can't explain like Stay Laudio on. Okay, Stay Laudio actually maybe you could. Like there's some things I think you could. Like Kato, I was gonna do a couple videos about Kato on TikTok because it felt like people would understand that if I explained it, because people are really into AI, for example. So I think it's possible, but I also don't think at this point in time, like during a bull market, we should be wasting time trying to grow that. That's my honest take.
Well, look at Orangey, right? So he translated from the Fortnite world, was a gamer, made a lot of money with the NFT, the game, the Bay game.
Yes.
Doogie Dash, that's it. And then he created a meme coin brand on Twitter, translated to YouTube, and went giga-viral. Now has like 150K followers or subscribers on YouTube, just by simple strategies, as you just said, translating people from there over to there once you have a big enough brand on your main platform. So I want to ask too, for you both, like, obviously I know both of us, or Craig and I have spoken about it, and I know you've been posting about it as well. The ad revenue going up as an incentive for you to create a brand on X. Do you think that is a massive, like, you can't do that with Instagram? You kind of have to have, like, say 10K followers, and then you're kind of doing sponsorship deals and they're not even paying you directly in a way. TikTok, same again. You need to grow a big following, then you start to consider that sort of ad revenue. YouTube ad revenue is dog shit. I will tell everybody there, it is horrendous. Okay, I can show you. I've earned, like, I don't even know, $5,000 or $6,000, I think, across my channel, and it's got like 1 million something views. Like, it's just ridiculous, right? It's a funnel. YouTube is a funnel for other, like, the GTG business and like obviously the brand on Twitter, all those sorts of things. But YouTube ad revenue sucks. X ad revenue, on the other side, seems to be very competitive when you do look at that in comparison to other social medias out there. So do you think, both of you guys, do you think that's a great sort of asset and, I suppose, inspiration for people to create content exclusively on X?
Very, very much so. Yeah, Elisa, you go, and I'll follow you on it.
No, you go. Okay.
All right, ladies first. Yeah, I agree with what Elisa was saying in regards to sometimes trying to put a triangle in a square just doesn't make sense, right? So sometimes, like with me, I used to, and I will answer your question in a roundabout way, but I used to take my X content and put it out on Instagram, for instance, for 2 years. And Instagram just did not like what I was doing there. Instagram didn't like it. It would block stuff. And none of it was bad, right? But it was finance talk. So I didn't like it a lot. And YouTube, Facebook even more so. So first of all, the audience that was seeing my stuff just didn't like it. So it was hard to grow a brand. Whereas X, to answer your question, X has been great. The thirst for it's there. So you might as well swim with where the whales are. And now with X paying us, it's not huge money for me, but what was it about? Between 4 and 5, this is not US, sorry, Australian dollars, between 4 and 500 a fortnight, although it seems to come around quicker than that, but I don't know, I'd have to check. But anyway, I haven't got much traction on YouTube, so I don't get money from there. I don't get money from anywhere else. So for me, it's been a nice little, I don't know, man, for a couple of years of building. Sure, it's not a lot of money, but I never expected X to give me any money. I knew I had to do the work, and I would have to seek out money from other areas, sponsors, etc., versus the platform. I was just happy the platform gave me a platform to do my thing. So the fact they're giving me money, I'm like, I don't know what to say.
How epic is it? How epic is it?
It's like, I don't know what it's like, but it's fantastic. It's
like,
amazing.
think about Anthem, right? Sorry to interrupt, but think about Anthem. Dude is earning like more than a full-time salary a year just by posting on X. Like, that's nuts. Like, and Zeneca, I'm sure, is probably up there too. He just doesn't post very often, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Elisa, what do you think?
No, I also think it's absolutely insane. So my question is, like, is it gonna last? I don't really know, but the one difference I would say with X is that we actually pay for like checks and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if any other social platform has like such a clear revenue model, but X makes us pay for a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's great, and I completely agree with you, Craig. It's like we actually have somewhere to post about all these things, and we're very free. Like, think about it. On any other platform, if we talk about the stuff we talk about, like, we would get suspended because it's like, what the hell is going on here, right? Yeah. But we actually are so lucky to be able to talk to like a super specialized audience. And if you think of even like e-commerce gurus, like even like those like young kids that like flex that life and stuff, they have a whole side of Twitter called Money Twitter. Like, they also hang out on X because X is kind of a place where you've got like more business focused minds, or like where people, I guess, I don't know if serious is the right word. I really don't know how to describe the X audience, but it's a very specific type of person. So yeah, I will never fight that. And I think the monetization is insane. Like, I made like $1,800 last month.
Yeah, across the whole month.
Like what?
Yeah, that's great. Like, that's so good.
That's insane. Yeah.
When I think about it, all I think about when I get little bits like that, because I know sometimes in crypto world, people are like, if it's not $1 million, it's nothing. Well,
Yeah, but you got to think about it. Like,
but that's a load of bullshit. Because when I get $500
salary.
in, I think that's my groceries for a week or two, or 1.5 or whatever it is. I just think, oh, well, I don't have to buy my groceries this week. Elon paid for it. That's awesome, dude. Like, one less bill. And even if it just pays for my phone or my internet, I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Still
Something. Take one. It's just another income stream. And if you can build up 5, 10, 100 of those, that's how I figure we're going to do it, or I'm going to do it.
Yeah, but so in a world where everyone's struggling as well, like, would you think about that?
Like, there's people out there, you know, I come from a gym background, and my ex payouts would be half of what the receptionist earns a year, and she goes in at 5 a.m. to open the gym. I'm in my pajamas, like I'm in tracksuit, I'm in comfy clothes right now. That's awesome. I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to open a gym for someone else's dream, getting him a Lamborghini. I think we're in a blessed time to be alive. My granddad, he's upstairs, he's no longer with us. But if I explained to him how I made money, he'd have another heart attack.
I literally, dude, it's so funny you say that. I try and talk to my dad's mates, and they're what, like 60, and they're like, what do you do? Like, sorry, what? Like,
yeah, I know. It sounds like it's actually, sometimes it gets quite awkward when you try and tell people what you do, because I think sometimes they think you're lying and you do something else. Yeah. like when you say, oh, what do you do? Crypto.
Yeah,
you're like, what does that mean?
The association.
You do crime.
Yeah, exactly. The association is still criminal activity with crypto. It's
every
crazy.
Time. Like, exactly with my dad's mates. Oh, I'm crypto. And they do the
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, bro, okay, yeah. Drug dealing, crypto.
Yeah, I'm like, no, there's actually no wink. Like, I've got a plushy penguin. Like, there's no street. There's no gang violence here, man. Like, it's pretty tame stuff.
Yeah, meanwhile, repping this $30,000 JPEG, like, as if
we look like such retards to them, but they come from a different time, eh? But true. Yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about.
No, the money. So I earned $650 over the past fortnight, which is a dramatic increase. So I was previously getting between, like, say 70 and 120, maybe 130 some weeks, depends how viral went. So that's like a 3x in ad revenue over the past sort of week. Now, Craig, I went viral last week, so very keen to see how I go this fortnight with the pay. So when's that come in? Yeah, no, it's still another week, so very interesting. Oh no, yeah, another week. So yeah, I mean, but like, I want to talk more on that, because I want to talk InfoFire, and I want to talk about growing a brand, because when I got scammed recently too, my main concerns were like, okay, I lost a shit ton of money, whatever, but I was more like, okay, as long as the business is fine, and as long as my brand is fun, I can recover from this, because that's more important than anything these sort of days. So I think a lot of people go wrong and say, oh, influencers are getting rich again, or this person's going viral again, or Classic Greenie just got, and I know all three of us just got that home airdrop from DeFi app. And I'm like, you're asking and saying the wrong thing, my friend. What you should be doing is, how did these three people here get to that stage? How much time did they do? How much hours did they spend tweeting before they ever got paid? And now are starting to reap the rewards, right? So people really fixate on the wrong side of growth, I suppose you could call it as well. But I like a brand is so important. And the larger I get, like, the more I start to realize, holy shit, like, if you can grow this brand to, and Craig and I have spoken about this pretty much since we started, mate, like in 23 together, like when I think I had like maybe 4,000 or 5,000 followers. I think you had like 8,000 or 9,000 followers at the time. And if we can get to like that sort of 30 to 50K bracket, right? Anywhere between that by the bear market, I think that's genuinely going to set you up probably for many years after that. So what do you guys think? Like, is that a fair estimate? Is a brand more important than any other opportunity in crypto?
Well, Eliza, you're at about 50,000, are you? What's it like to be at the top? What's it like to be at my goal already? I'm at 20-something thousand. I'm still down in the gutter, but yeah, I don't know. You go.
Bro, my goal is 100K, so I'm still 50% there. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like, to be honest, I don't like that people just look at followers. Like, it happens a lot. I've noticed that. But yeah, no, definitely I've noticed a jump from like when I was at like 20, 25 to when I'm at 50. Definitely seen differently, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, sorry, I don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
The brand?
Yeah, the brand.
Okay. So I always get a bit confused when people talk about brand because I don't try hard to portray something. I would just say I am myself. That's it.
Yeah, you are your brand.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because my brand is me, is just me. I don't have a persona or anything. I know that a lot of amazing creators, I don't know if in crypto specifically, but a lot of amazing creators do have personas. And I think I respect that a lot. For me, my approach is really just like being myself and being super open about a lot of stuff. That's how I've built my audience. I would say, I guess the most branding thing we can talk about is like I try to keep a consistent PFP for a few months at a time. That part, I wish I could like spastically change like every day, but it would not be the smartest thing to do. So that's where I try to be strict with myself, is like the PFP. And then I have my bio that I rarely change. Like some things need to stay consistent. Like obviously use the same name, like don't change your name. I would not recommend that at all. Yeah, but I don't really overthink the brand thing, I would say. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think about, what your perspective is.
I'm the same as you. Luckily enough, my brand, if you want to call it a brand, which sounds really dorky, but I guess for people listening, kind of have to explain it that way. Because my brand's me, I've got the luxury of my brand can change because I change. So where some brands, like you just said, people have to stay in character. I'm so glad I didn't create this persona of saying being edgy. You know how some people, they're the edgy guy on Twitter, right? And it's like, yeah, you're funny. But after a while, it's like, fuck, dude. Like, provide some value as well. And I guess there is value in being edgy, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So I didn't picture my whole as being a comedian or this or that. It just was me. So I guess the blessing I've got is my brand will change as I grow and my information changes and what I know of the world. And what I'm saying right now, in a year's time, I could easily turn around and go, dude, you're wrong. You're full of shit, right? So that's where I'm kind of glad I was just always me, and I didn't trying to put on a suit and be the stock market guy and be like, I know finance so well, because I don't. I just learned to like everybody else. But that was just blind luck for me. I don't even know how I accidentally ended up here. But sometimes I think the world, it was like what you said earlier, Elisa, sometimes the universe, if you just work really effing hard, and if you're in the right place at the right time and you put in the work, the universe goes, you can now have this. It's the older I get, the more I kind of get more like, I don't know if superstitious is the word, but I kind of feel like you're given certain times in life where it's a test. And if you pass the test, you get to go to the next level. But if you fail, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You're just not ready to take that leap. And I think in time, the universe will give you that test again. And that's the way I look at it. So I kind of look at failure now, I just wasn't ready. So you sort of got to pat yourself in the back and cut yourself some slack sometimes when you're trying to grow that brand and go, dude, it's going to be okay. And then just keep working. But I guess nothing replaces hard work. Unfortunately, I've not found a shortcut to hard work yet.
I think that's key. Yeah, it's definitely consistency. I think, like we spoke about a few of these points earlier, but like providing value. But like you said, Elisa, I think being unique and being yourself is exactly what attracts you to more people. Like you put up your cat, I put up my dog, like all those sorts of things. I put up a golf post. Like having a variety of content is so important too. Like maybe can slightly vary. Okay, so there's multiple ways, as we've already discussed, to probably grow a brand. You could be a whale.swoosh and just purely or an ISO beast, for example, and purely like either shit post or post organic content about a particular topic, right? Or you can be like maybe like an easy, right, who is a bit more relatable, creates a lot of good content, a lot of macroeconomic content, but also bullshits and posts some normal everyday sort of content that's relatable, right? So I think it's important to always be yourself. If you want to succeed in crypto, be consistent and be yourself. So translating that now to InfoFi, like, do you think InfoFi is saturated now? Do you think there's still opportunities there for us as creators? Do you think the models need to change? Because I know, for example, I speak to Craig about this too. I was on the Say leaderboard for about a month. About 3 weeks leading into the 4th week. And then sure enough, farmers came in and kicked me right off there, even though I'd been consistent about it. And they just put say in every single tweet, and they like get far more engagement on it because I'd only tweet about it once a day. So I would like to hear your thoughts as someone who's been quite prominent around that sort of area.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I've been in Keto since the Yaps opened. I think probably the breakout app of this cycle, like just the most interesting one. I think InfoFi is just getting started. I don't even think it's just going to be like for creators' benefit. I think it's going to go beyond just creators. But yeah, right now there is an issue with the algo. I think Stay Laudio definitely exposed a lot of that. So from what I understand, and I'm not like an AI technical person at all. But yeah, from what I understand, these Yappa leaderboards, basically the project kind of puts like different parameters.
Yeah.
I can't say that. They put different parameters. So for example, in your case where you mentioned there's the farming thing, that just means they would have not put a quality filter, which means that ship posting is allowed. So that's what I learned recently is like some boards don't punish that. So yeah, I've noticed the same thing. I don't know if you're familiar with Bandit.
Yeah.
XBT. Met him in Lisbon. Amazing guy, super smart. And yeah, he's basically like engagement farming these leaderboard keywords. It's insane. And he's getting away with a lot of it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he'll say like some dumb shit that's gonna get engagement and then just put Infinex.
Yeah.
Like people were doing with Laudio, same thing. So you see how people climbed with Laudio by doing that?
Yeah.
That basically exposes what Keto is like without the quality filter. So if a Yappa leaderboard doesn't put a quality filter, apparently this like what it's called, those posts work. So it's kind of down to the project to do that. Yeah, I think this is still like, I don't like that personally. But it is what it is. I haven't actually been grinding leaderboards recently. A lot of them that I do, it's like passively.
Yeah.
So I think Greeny, you're like top
pre-TG.
You're top 10. Yeah, you're up there for
which
the
is
abstract.
surprising. Like I didn't know that either. But it's because I'd bull post abstract so frequently.
Yeah. But if you think about it, like that's the entirety of CT. Like if you're in the top 10 on pre-TG, you're basically top 10 of like all Kaito.
Yeah.
So it's good to flex. Like I think at the end of the day, I have noticed a huge difference in like how first of all, my platform has grown a lot since InfoFi, and also just like my deal flow has increased a shit ton in different ways as well. Like I get paid for different things now as a creator, and like people like if you're on the leaderboards, like it literally proves that you have pull or you have motion or whatever, right? I think the Yappa leaderboard's a bit different.
Yeah.
But like if you're on pre-TGE leaderboard, like bro, like that basically says like you have some sort of impact on the conversation. And brands see that and they check that. They're looking at it, they need data. If you think of all these KOL campaigns that happen, that used to happen, and people were getting paid like 10K for a tweet, like what the hell is that?
Yeah. Well, the biggest waste of money, wasn't it? Mostly.
Yeah, it's insane. And I think it still happens, but like especially in Memecoins, but different or whatever. I don't want to go on a tangent, but like now basically Keto is a way for companies to actually look at data, and I think a lot of people come from Web 2 and they're used to having this kind of data. That's how they operate. So Keto is like legitimizing us basically. So I think it's great.
Yeah, it's a launch pad, right? It's a launch pad for all these businesses, and then it's an opportunity for us creators to, as you said earlier, who create genuine value and entertainment, you could call it as well, to then get some jobs. So I'd love to dive into that specifically. So what sort of jobs have you been doing? What do you do, I suppose, in the space?
Like outside of being a creator?
Yeah, outside of being a creator, like more specifically, maybe is it marketing? Like talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've done a bunch of marketing. I was actually running an agency like last year, but we kind of phased that out because not all the co-founders wanted to pursue it, and it was behind a brand that like we had to be all together. but yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. I think we did that for like 6 months. And we helped a bunch of gaming projects. We actually did really well. But yeah, I don't think it was meant to be. I wasn't meant to be leading an agency. I think I'm meant to still have this creator as my main focus, the creator career, let's say. But yeah, I'm actually doing a lot of biz dev like behind the scenes. And I've been doing that for years, like for free, not really monetizing that, just connecting people, getting people like leads and things like this. But I'm actually exploring an opportunity right now, which I think is really, really good in biz dev. So it'd be like part-time, I guess. But since it's like kind of natural to me, I don't think it's going to take away much from like my creative stuff.
Yeah.
And then I do a bunch of like advisory gigs too, which contrary to popular belief doesn't really pay that much because I don't like selling. I always feel so bad. I know this is stupid, but when I work with a team, like you're very close to the team when you're an advisor, and I just feel like horrible selling their tokens basically, even if they're selling OTC, like I don't know, I don't really monetize being an advisor, but it's okay because it's not like too much time. But yeah,
okay, very interesting. I love it. Well, Craig, do you have a few more questions? I've got a couple more, and then I don't want to take too much time, but
probably one of the ones that interests me just from hearing what Elisa's got to say, you're very big into gaming. Is there anything in crypto gaming at the moment that's sort of piqued your interest or got you quite excited? Because I don't come from a gaming background, but I love gaming. I was a big gaming geek when I was younger. So for me, like the two going together, if it ever happens, it excites me just on a personal level more than anything. But I feel I don't really have my feelers that great in gaming. I feel like crypto gaming, it almost feels like a dirty word. I mean, I guess that's the 21 in me talking right now with Axie Infinity and Mana and Sandbox and every other rug I've participated in. But is there anything crypto gaming that looks really like super promising and I don't even know what I mean by promising. Like, I don't even know a great game that would satisfy normies and maybe crypto people.
Yeah. So I think there's like a huge spectrum when it comes to crypto gaming. So like Off the Grid, for example, I would say is more on like the AAA with NFTs slapped on top of it kind of thing. And then you've got the other side, which is like complete degen games on chain, like Ponzi's, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that people wouldn't consider crypto gaming, which is crypto gaming, like On Chain Heroes crypto game, Fancy Top crypto game, like these are all games. I think the spectrum is very, very broad. We've seen a lot of bullshit. Insanely crazy. A lot of game studios have started shutting down. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like there was like one a day for the past like 2 weeks. Insane. So I think the crypto gaming industry is very, very, very young. I'm seeing a lot of like innovation on the mobile app side, specifically PWAs. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's basically like Fancy Top has a PWA. So it's like an app that you add to your home screen and you're basically able to have Privy Wallet and all this kind of stuff. I think Abstract might do something similar. But now really good catalyst has happened, which may take like a year or so to kick in. But Epic Games won the lawsuit against Apple, which basically means you saw that, right? This is huge for consumer apps in crypto in general.
I don't know what happened. What happened?
So I don't want to get this wrong. So definitely check it out because it is very interesting.
No. So Fortnite was on the Apple App Store and then they removed it because I don't know, they were getting too much sales and Apple wasn't getting the market share, whatever it was. And then so they kicked Fortnite off and then they went through all these legal processes and they finally brought it back. And then Fortnite is now live again on the App Store.
Okay. Gotcha.
But wait. Because what this means is basically now games or apps or whatever, they can basically lead users outside of the app to pay for stuff.
Yeah.
Or like you can. So this was a big issue for like, crypto NFTs because it's like, man, I used to write about this and now I don't even know.
Am I right? Apple used to take about 30%. So if you did an app purchase, they took 30%.
So whenever they can't take it, they get mad and they basically like ban or like don't let you.
Yeah.
So definitely look into it, because I'm absolutely butchering it right now. But this is a huge catalyst for crypto consumer in general, because now we are actually able to do that. And the easiest way to do these things is going to be via crypto. So I think this might take a couple years to kick in, but huge for mobile applications with crypto. So I think gaming in general, like you see like this, like the gaming industry right now is at a plateau. It might even be what's the opposite of growth? What?
Decline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be declining a bit.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of catalysts that need to happen, like growth levers that need to happen for gaming to be growing again. And when gaming grows again, I think crypto gaming, will grow and do better. But right now, you look at the gaming industry, it's not doing well. It's struggling. It needs innovation. I do think crypto gaming is one of those avenues, 100%. But we're just not there yet with the business models. Like it still just needs a lot of experimenting, basically, is my take.
And who was it that just bought Stripe? So Privy, was it Stripe?
Yeah,
Stripe and Privy.
So that's going to be pretty big with that in mind as well.
Yeah,
consumers purchasing and signing and things like that. How big is that's so big?
I think consumer crypto is it's looking good right now.
Yeah, cool. All right, last topic I want to talk about before a couple of hit-fire questions at the end. Abstract, obviously. It's the main one that we've kind of connected on, and how we all kind of like met each other, I suppose. Why Abstract for you? And I want to talk a little bit about XP and Memecoins as well, but let's start with why Abstract.
Why Abstract? I think the number one thing was the streaming, to be honest with you, because I had been streaming on Twitch for a couple years. And the crypto category, so during the virtuals craze, which was end of last year, I did a lot of streams around that, which I'm really glad I did, actually, because I've literally got everything on video. And what I noticed is that the crypto category was booming. Like I was getting so many more viewers than I was getting if I was doing like gaming. So I think I discovered like a new vertical there, I guess. And so when I saw Abstract was doing streaming, I was like, wow, this is basically my opportunity. Like I have to go hard on this. So it's the streaming. Like that's what attracted me first. I think what's kept me here is the community. Like I was in a call yesterday talking about this, like the community here is just different. I think everyone is just really, we all have like the same North Star, I would say, is the main thing. We're all getting there in different ways. And obviously there's a lot of opportunities along the way too. But community is unmatched in Abstract. Yeah,
very fair.
I agree. It's quite a friendly community compared to others. And I think, like you said, everyone's North Star's the same. So I know with me personally, I'm prepared to cut the team slack because I feel like I am aligned with what they're trying to do. So if there's mishaps along the way, I'm not going to bust their balls about it because I understand what they're doing is tricky. And to be honest, again, I'm thankful they're building a platform that I'm able to rapidly grow on. So it's been great for that, hasn't it? I'm just glad we locked in early on Abstract. I think it's going to be awesome.
They changed the model, right? Like they changed the model, and that as a L2 or as a business or as a company, as an opportunity, I think that's epic. And I mean, Pump.Fun has obviously brought back streaming now and is in a way a competitor. We spoke to Finn about that. We spoke to obviously Eli about that as well. So it's interesting sort of moving forward about this new opportunity for consumer-based sort of content, right, on these different opportunity on chains. Now, obviously you put a post out maybe half a week ago about XP and how Poly, for example, holders didn't get as much XP as Abster holders. Now, Eli had a really good take, and I kind of agree with it. Do you think XP is obviously going to more people in a meme coin holding that is a higher market cap, even though they might own, say, $1 million tokens, right? Like if I go and buy a super low cap meme coin and I say, I'm like, yeah, I own like 10 grand of this meme coin. Why am I not getting XP? I kind of agree with Eli's take that it's based on the market cap. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that would make complete sense, but the math still isn't mathing because we know someone who's got like a lot and he got like 2,000 XP.
Interesting.
And he's got a lot, guys. So no, I think there are just boosts on certain things. Just like when there was on-chain heroes, they like drove a shit ton of volume in the beginning. And for 2 weeks, on-chain, everything on-chain heroes was like insanely boosted. So basically the top people in the leaderboard for on-chain heroes were getting like 80, 100K. So it was very boosted. And I do believe the week where Pengu went crazy, that also happened. Pengu was boosted. So I know Eli had a ton of Pengu and he got like some crazy amounts of XP. I think Appster right now is boosted as well. So no, I do think there are like some backend things that are like that they control. So I commented on that because Poly has been trending #1 for a while, and I've been very vocal about this. Like, it's no secret. I do think like it's a coin that is being a bit ostracized, but yeah, there's been a lot of controversy, so it makes sense. But yeah, no, about what you were saying, like specifically about like the Abstract is going after something completely different. I would say the most important thing right now is actually to give honest feedback. Like, we are growing this together, and I think if there's only like yes men and there's only people kind of glazing, we're not going to get where we want to be. And I think I would say, like, as a bigger creator, I have less fear of doing that because maybe I have less risk there. I mean, still risk, but I have less risk, like kind of being like as straightforward as I want. Whereas like a growing creator that's like specifically building around Abstract, like they might not feel super comfortable to do that. So like sometimes I post certain things and it's like, I want people to understand, like, I'm actually just taking advantage of my platform. Like, and I say these things in private. I say these, you know, whatever. I'm always going to be very honest because I think someone needs to do it.
I agree with your take, and I think Craig and I, we kind of already done that, like, in a way as well. Like, we keep things honest. We've come from multiple trends. We've come from trading all types of fantastic things to absolute dog shit things, right? So we're not really worried too much. Like, we see the opportunity on Abstract. That's why we're here, and that's why we're loving it. And to be honest, it's done wonders for us as a sort of brand, if you want to call us that as well. But I do agree. I think feedback it's important for everything. Like, I literally, in GTG, like our training group, I literally said last week, guys, abuse me with feedback. Tell me what needs to change, what's good, okay, what do you like, what don't you like? And I understand, like, I was previously a teacher, so I understand that there's millions of people out there with all millions of different desires and what they like, what they don't like. So I have to sort of juggle that and be like, well, if Craig says this, Elisa says this, and person A over here says this, well, I'll try and compromise and meet them in the middle. So I think you're right. And I think providing feedback is a big one for a new chain. And I mean, they're building in public. We spoke about that with Finn. He was fantastic, not going to lie. He was fantastic. It was a fantastic stream. And I think it's a great sort of opportunity. The last point I want to make about this, look at this wallets by balance. This is something that Tajia and GTG shared with me yesterday, or shared with us all. This one here is really interesting. I know you guys can't quite see. I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can.
Is that ETH holdings
so again,
in wallets?
I don't know how accurate this is. Like, this is just one of the models, but this is a really interesting thing for me. Only 69 people, it was 73 yesterday, so more people have taken money off, but only 69 people have 5+ Ethereum on the platform in the million, say, active wallets that are there, maybe 900K-ish around there. What are your thoughts on that? Now, I personally, I did have over 5 ETH. Maybe that has changed over the past week. I may slightly fall under that. So even then, I would fall into this category here. So if we have a look, only 500 people on the whole platform have above 1 ETH. Is that a concern? What do you guys think about that?
Is that actual ETH on the platform, or value?
I would assume it's value
coins
on the platform.
Oh.
I could be wrong. I don't know, chat. If someone else knows a little bit more about Layer Hub.
Can it really only be 69 people?
I don't know.
5 ETH
I don't know.
No, I think this is
Surely
ETH because
you think this is ETH? Okay.
Yeah. Because I know at least 10+ people that have a lot more than 5 ETH.
Yeah. See, I reckon I would as well.
My question to you guys, and it goes back with the whole, I'm not getting enough XP because I am only in the top 1%. I only get 50K. Is it because our algo is only pushing the absolute top 1%, 0.1% of people on Abstract? I don't know. Thoughts?
Wait, what do you mean?
So in other words, my algo, I always only ever see OG or Reborn or whoever it is get 100k XP each week.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't see the common Joe over there who gets 200 XP every week.
Right. The reason I made my post is because Rubik's, you guys must be very familiar with Rubik's. He basically posted saying something to do with XP and basically saying like every Appster whale is getting 100k plus. Every Appster whale. There's a bunch of Appster whales. So that means like there's like, you know, about 10 people getting 100k XP. And then I look at another whale group and I'm not seeing that at all. I'm seeing less than 10k XP. So that's where I was comparing. But again, like the XP game is a game. I see it that way. And I think that clearly right now, and I did tweet this like a few months ago, like a month ago. I think the best way to rank up right now is like having the roles. It's pretty big. And also just being high up in the app leaderboards, which means being a spender in the apps most often. I don't think holding stuff is the way. Unless you're boosted. So right now Appster's boosted. I don't know if it's going to continue to be, but it has been. So holding Appster is very positive. But if you're trying to optimize for XP, clearly holding like assets is not really the way. But that could change. So it's like, we don't know, right? I do think like I do think if you have a certain amount deployed, not sitting ETH, you should be getting a good amount. But we don't know what a good amount is because we have no idea of the stats. Like if we were able to see, Greeny, just like you're showing, like if we were able to see, 70 people got less than 2k XP, we'd be like, okay, I'm chilling. I've got 30k. Like I'm actually doing really well. But we just don't know.
So it really interesting. Yeah, I agree with all your takes. I agree. I think it's go on the leaderboards literally is the best way to go about it. Makes a lot of sense. And I agree with that. Be transactional. And even if it's microtransactions, Gigaverse is super my low cap, whereas on-chain here is maybe a little bit more. I've lost my thought. I think I've lost my thought. Anyways, XP. It was XP. So up to last week, I think top 1% was above 5k XP, whereas now it boosted to 20k last week was top 1%, which is really interesting, I thought as well.
Well, basically, it's kind of like yaps. It's like that. It's deflationary, right? So there's going to be less and less. But that's why it's so crazy seeing like a bunch of people get 100k.
I know.
Like I just don't get it because that's like so much of the XP.
Yeah, no. It's crazy, those numbers. I'm the same. When I see 100, I'm like, holy shit, because I got, what did I get this week? 56, which was massive for me. It almost doubled the week before. And then I think of somebody got 100 and something come, like, Jesus,
Eli,
what are you doing on there? Like, because I'm pretty active, man. Jesus.
To be honest, like, I can't complain too much because I haven't been that active. Like, I've just been a holder. So I'm not like, you know, these people having like daily routines and stuff like that. I respect that a lot. Like Eli is cooked every week. I think he's got like 100k.
Nah, not quite. He's got 100k twice. I think he sits around that 60 to 90.
60 is high. Good numbers. Like last week I had 26. And I have like nearly all the roles apart from Big Pengu.
I'm going to comment on this because I know OG obviously is the main topic of conversation here. He owns, I'm sure, 6 figures more in abstract across Memecoins NFTs. He also owns 3 big pudgies, right? So I know it only allows a 50% boost, but guys, if you have money in the abstract Pengu ecosystem, you will get more XP. It's pretty simple. Like it is that simple. So, I mean, I've earned, I consistently earn about 50k, but I have taken about, I don't even know. I've taken about $12,000 off the platform the last few days. So I'll be very interested to see if I get a bit of a knock next week, actually. So, chat.
Do you have a goal, Elisa, for XP? Do you have a goal for XP? Is that something you have in mind, or are you just one of those? Are you thinking, just wherever I end up will be good enough because I'm creating, so you're just happy to be on the platform creating?
So in the beginning, when I was streaming like every day, I was like, okay, I want to get like 100, I want to get like 150K, but I was just not hitting it, so I kind of gave up on that. I think my highest was like 70 or something.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
Smashes one.
yeah.
I think more time.
Are you platinum?
No,
Are you
so that's my
platinum at the
goal. I want to
moment?
get to platinum.
Where are you now?
Okay, same as all three of
I'm
us are
like
shooting for
midway
it.
gold.
So same as me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm only a third. I'm a third. I'm behind you guys slightly. I'm working my ass off to catch
Mate,
green.
you probably
will.
will. I took money off the
You will.
platform, so you probably will. Yeah.
You will.
Yeah, but I find the only thing with doing the daily task is I'm the kind of guy that does everything daily. Jesus, it gets
yeah, I don't have time to do that.
overwhelming,
Like that's
especially with the amount of games they got coming on there now. It's just like I've figured out now I've got to really start to specialize rather than spread too
try
thin.
to get like top 10 in one of the apps, I think.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
this is
think so,
the thing you got to keep in mind is some things are boosted. Like some apps sometimes get boosted and it's like you just don't know what. But I think I saw stats about this actually. Sorry, don't want to take too long. Who posted about
keen
this?
on stats.
It was like stats of number of wallets in certain. Have you seen that? Okay, so there's like 16 wallets in platinum. It's nuts.
yeah. No, I did see that. Yeah.
Sorry, I have. Yeah,
no. I brought it up to Finn because I saw it and I was like, "Hey, is this legit?" And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds about legit." So
yeah,
like
so low. And
it was low,
only like 2,000 to 3,000 in gold.
Like, hey. Yeah, but that's kind of a lot. Like I was like, "Fuck!" Like,
yeah, I know. Get away, you dirty dogs in gold, eh? I'm like, get away from me.
Yeah, it's like, damn, I wish it was platinum. Like a few hundred. No, it's a few thousand.
Same. That's exactly when I got to gold. I had to look around. I was like, it felt like everyone else had it. And I was like, I've got to differentiate myself because obviously those top tiers are going to get the lion's share, which is how it works. But I mean, even though I just said that, for those of you who chasing gold, I think gold will still be a good.
I think gold will still print. 27 apparently is the updated number currently for people in platinum.
Insane.
Really?
Okay, I'm sorry, Abstract. You need to boost like holdings, like please. Like, there's no way I've got 50K in a meme coin and like I'm not getting more than like. Come on, I need to get platinum.
That's
come on, guys.
Yeah, I agree. If you got 50K in there, you should get it.
It's okay. I tweeted it and honestly, I love Saigar. Like he's very receptive. And he was saying they've been talking about this. Mm-hmm. So this is another thing that I just want to say, like quickly wrapping up about Abstract, I guess, is like team listens and also like from what I've heard, like input from community members is actually impacting the way they see stuff and the way they approach stuff. So yeah, just like re-emphasizing, like always be honest and try to provide like constructive feedback. I think criticizing for the sake of criticizing, not it. Like always be respectful and always like have that goal of trying to better the ecosystem. But just know that like your voice is heard and like you can have an impact, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. And rather than just making comments like this, if it sucks, explain what sucks and perhaps what would make it less
or too much complaining. Especially, to be honest, especially with XP, I think I'll check myself because it's like at the end of the day, it's an airdrop. Like we can't complain too much. Yeah.
Yeah. I did the same for myself. I try not to get sooky about it, so I just have a laugh. But I don't want to be one of those kids, because you kind of feel like you've been given a little, a candy bar, and you don't want to be like, why didn't I get a bigger one? It's like I don't want to be that dude either. You
got to strike a balance.
I think we're all going to do okay. That's what I reckon. And I think when we look back, we'll probably be thankful for the opportunity we were given. I hope
it's a lot more than the airdrop. I think.
But I agree with it.
It's
sorry,
a lot
what
more
was
than
that,
the
Elijah?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's so much more. We spoke about heaps of those points already in the episode. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Like I hope the airdrop is amazing, but I also hope the platform and everything they're building continues to be amazing, because then I can continue to do my thing where I'm doing it. So I kind of hope that the platform, even post everything, just keeps on trucking and shipping. That I'd much prefer that. A good airdrop will be great, but if the platform can just keep on kicking on, that would be, I think, long term better for everyone. Which I think is a good way to think. I think that's probably healthy. Rather than me with other things I've been in, like friend tech, my goal was just to mass extract. I just wanted to get in, get out, sell the token, get the F out of there, because that's what race and everyone is doing, right? Whereas I feel with this, the teams moves differently. They're very open. They're engaging. They come on stream and they're willing to shoot the shit and answer some tough questions. I'm like, yeah, right. That's pretty cool.
And we're growing as creators.
Cool. So shout out Finn. So Finn, you can buff that.
Mate, you need Giga Chat. You do need Giga Chat. Not gonna lie. I don't know why you don't have it yet. Just quietly. So.
I think it's like that Luca thing now. I think they're not going to
keep tagging them.
No,
You'll get your way eventually. Maybe we'll see.
I'm joking. I think the more I break myself down about it, eventually they're going to have to cave and be like, this poor dude, he's going to fucking wreck himself if we don't help him out.
All right, last 2 points. Last 2 questions. The last question I always ask people that we get on the show is, do you have questions for us as a sort of ending point? But before that, 3 tokens that you want to hold for the rest of this cycle. What would you pick?
What do you mean the rest of this cycle? That kind of instant.
Okay, let's go. Let me change it.
The cycle of life.
It's like, when are we selling? Kind of.
Yeah, no. Let me rephrase the question. Okay, what token are you happy to hold for the next 6 months? What token are you happy to hold for the next year? And what token are you happy to hold for 5 years plus?
I don't know if this cycle is going to last for another 6 months.
Juicy.
Okay, well, Bitcoin I don't sell.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yep.
I just buy.
Yep.
ETH, I'm still holding, and I will hold until the time comes, I guess. I'll probably be selling like a little bit when it starts pumping again.
Yep.
What's another one? And the main other one I have is Poly. To be honest, for me, Poly is kind of like exposure to abstract. So it's like when abstract does well, I've noticed that it does well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that'll probably be around the same time as ETH when I start calling that.
Yeah. Have you cut any?
I don't know when that is.
Have you cut any from your position?
So I took like a part of my initials. I haven't even taken most of my initials. Yeah. I just think liquidity is too low. And I would rather it go to 0 than sell on people straight up.
Yeah, fair. No, very honest worker. I like that.
I'll only sell if like there's a lot of volume and it actually goes like much higher than this, like higher than 10M. Yeah, I like that. I mean, this is one chart I have been watching. So the consolidation here, I mean, if it gets down to the 786 fib at 2 mil, I'll probably buy. But maybe it doesn't get there. Maybe it does. We'll see. Fuck. 2M is low. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll definitely buy it 2M.
Yeah, it's at 5 mil now. I mean, it dipped overnight to 3.2. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, someone sold 16K. This is the problem, though, with abstract tokens right now. Like, I've been talking to a lot of traders, and they look at it and they're like, but you can't sell even 2K here. Like, it's not possible. And I'm like, we're just holding, basically. Yeah,
this spread and the slippage is nuts. It is nuts due to the low liquidity. I think that's a big problem. And it'll be really interesting now with this new orderly platform and the leverage, whether the liquidity it boosts the ecosystem or not. Because I agree, because it makes it hard, right? Because like you buy $1,000 and then the spread's down at like 900, like sometimes 850, for example. So I'm losing $150 just in the spread. And I'm like, what? Like that is ridiculous. Like,
yeah, you got to forget a 15% move to the
and I'm kind
of
like, and that's why the buy and hold approach kind of works. So I have, I've been moving money for other reasons. I've got to pay tax and bills and whatnot. So I have been, a lot of people are probably like, oh, Greeny's selling everything. He's sitting literally in USDC. And it's so true. I've got to pay bills. So that's my play. Last question is, what question do you possibly have for us? We always like to sort of end this because we always grill people. And I know everyone who sort of jumps on shows are always getting grilled. So I always like to throw it back on the person that we're interviewing. Do you have a question for us to end?
Yeah, so I'm interested in like what other ecos you're looking at right now. I know Greeny. So I actually have been following Greeny for a while. I'm trying to remember like from what it was. But I just really liked your charts. Like that's how I remember Greeny, is like it's the charts. And I don't know if you had the Pengu forever, but yeah, there was something about you that was different where like you had the charts, but you weren't like a typical chart account. So yeah, definitely keep doing that.
Thank you.
But yeah, really interested in like what ecos you guys are looking at.
Good question. Yeah. Good question. Craig, do you want to lead, or do you want me to go?
You go.
Yeah,
So
look, that's a good question.
Right,
I bought some. So GGG and we bought some virtuals actually. Well, not virtuals, but like a token on virtuals. That sort of Coinbase have been discussing and DeFi over there. So that's one I have it sort of introduced the group to and myself. Not probably going to spend too much time over there because I'm too busy. We spend a lot of time futures trading, so that's probably the main one. But ecosystems, I think InfoFi still you have to I think more than that actually is growing a brand. Like I've really shifted it, and like I still trade every day, but it's like I'm really trying to focus on the brand side of things at the moment too, and that in a way is a part of crypto, I suppose.
Yep.
Video content for me across, I think Hyperliquid is probably the one that I need to go to. That's probably number one for me is go over there, create some video tutorials for people. Because if I don't know how to do it, then there's a shit ton of people that don't know how to do it. So I think that's probably a big gap for me right now at the moment. Craig?
Yeah, I would say Hyperliquid as well. I think that's a good shout. That's an area that I haven't explored that obviously some people have pointed out. It looks like there's potential there. And like you just said, Greeny, I think if I haven't explored it, if you haven't explored it, then there must be a decent amount of people haven't. I think InfoFi is still really interesting, and I'm interested to see how that matures over time. I think the Cato model's shown there's massive potential. I think it's also shown that it can still be exploited and gamed, and it's not quite as organic as we'd like, but I also think it's much more organic than, like Elisa said before, just giving a cold 10 grand and they shill a different one every week, and then they sell their tokens because they've probably got to pay 10 grand in the token they're selling. So they're basically selling onto their community, which is not the way I've ever wanted to do it or done it, actually. I've tried to avoid that at all costs. And have done successfully. And that's, I think, kind of the reason you and I, Green, you've done it right, because we haven't bastardized our listeners, luckily. So probably InfoFi. And to be honest, for me, this cycle, Bitcoin's just, it's hard. I just want to, it's weird. I want to say I want to explore Bitcoin, but I don't even know what I mean by that. But actually what I want to get into is futures a lot more. That's the next on my list, but I'm kind of waiting for the bear market to come because I've got to put my head back in the books. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the bull to quieten down, because at the moment I don't want to have my head in the books. I'm better off making money out in the open, and then when it quietens down, I'll go back to my books. So futures for me, InfoFi, Bitcoin. I hope builders build a lot more on Bitcoin itself. I don't even know what I mean by that, but I just trust Bitcoin. Other areas, I'm kind of interested to see how Ethereum plays the rest of it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The memes are hitting up. The memes are hitting up on ETH, just quietly.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is Ethereum's like the next mature coin, right? So Bitcoin, I think, has clearly established itself as I understand why we need it, or why I need it. Ethereum, I haven't had that moment with. Or I haven't had that moment with another coin where I felt like it's a hold I have to have. So I'm kind of keen to see how the biggest player, being Ethereum, the second biggest, navigates this stage of what I'd call kind of maturity or global adoption. So, but that's probably a bit boring for people to think about. But that's kind of where my head's at, more to see where I pivot next. But video content as well, very much for my brand. But nothing that would probably really excite people or where people could make money. I think brand growth for me, understanding Bitcoin even better than I do, and seeing the growth of altcoins and whether they make it or not, or whether they just capitulate into ultimately being meme coins or not. I think that's sort of what I'm investigating, or kind of keen to.
What about you, Elisa? What do you think's next, or what do you think's a good opportunity?
I really like ETH, honestly. Like, I think I think it's because of bag bias. To be completely honest with you guys, like I've been 50-60% stable since January, and like I'm very comfortable like that. Like I'm exposed to the market in the ways that I like to be exposed, and I don't feel the need to be all the way in. But ETH is actually one of my main holds. I do still believe in it for DeFi. I don't know if you guys have seen that chart recently of like DeFi going up. It
still dominates DeFi by heaps, right?
Yeah. 50% of stable coins are on ETH. like I think if we're looking at like a world where institutions and all that, they're buying Bitcoin, like there's also something happening there with ETH. I don't think this is a given though. It could very easily, change. So we, like as you said, Craig, need to keep an eye on it. But at the moment, it's looking like ETH is still the chosen one for that, because it's super decentralized. You can build on top of it, etc., etc. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that, because yeah, whatever. In terms of ecosystems, at the moment, really liking Telegram. Yeah.
And Ton specifically as well.
Yeah, I'm just I don't hold Ton, no.
Yeah, okay.
It was at 7 though, so technically right now would be a good buy. Like it's at 3.4. It was at 3 like 2 weeks ago, so it is going up. But I don't know if I don't know if the play is Ton or if it's just to like mint NFTs and flip them. But yeah.
You had some success with that today, did I see on the timeline, with pudgy stickers or something?
So
I felt like such a retard seeing that post. I was like, what?
I know. I need to do guides. I know. I was like, no, I wasn't expecting anyone to understand that post. Like it was kind of, I kind of did it on purpose.
Got me curious.
So people realize that like there's something going on that like they don't know about.
Well, you did your job on me then.
That's exactly how I got him.
What the hell was that?
Yeah. There you go, guys.
I'm gonna do guides, but no, I think I'm just really into like I'm always really into like the consumer ecosystem. So Hyper EVM, I'm like aware that I need to keep an eye on it, but at the same time, it's a lot of like DeFi yield stuff, and I'm just not comfortable with that. Like I prefer the info, I prefer the consumer stuff that like I understand straight away, and I'm just more comfortable with.
Very fair. But I think that's a great time to end the potty, guys. An hour and a half. If you want to watch the replay, it's on both Craig and I's YouTube channel, Craig's Coin Purse or Greeny Trades. You can go subscribe first and watch all of our other videos, but you can watch our live stream back and our replay there as well. Elisa, thank you so much for your time today. Very much appreciate it. It's nice to connect with you more personally, and obviously we'll be seeing each other on the timeline, I'm sure.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was great. Like, yeah, you guys are amazing hosts, so I appreciate you for having me on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elisa. Thanks for your time, and thanks to everyone else. And enjoy your Friday, Greeny. Enjoy your Friday. Time to kick back and relax. And we'll see. We've got
we got Easy on Sunday, so that's a huge show, guys. Let's hope he follows through and he actually joins. So we'll wait and see if he commits to it. But hopefully he's keen, which is great. So guys, thanks chat for all the tips. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Last little plug is GTG is having an end of year financial sale. It's tax season here. Come and join us. Over 40% off on many options to join us in a trading group where we have an abstract dedicated channel and many other great callers across the world trading crypto futures and so much more all the time. So very much appreciate you, chat. And guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the timeline. Cheers.
Thanks,
see you
guys.
later.